They had laid their rifles in the canoe beside them, and had taken off their cloaks. Each wore a bandolier filled with cartridges and a curved, narrow-bladed dagger in the front of his belt. The marshes lay 3 miles below Falis Mudhif, and as we approached them, we passed a large village that extended for some 200 yards along the left bank of the stream. Built of mats, fastened over arches of reeds, the houses were ranged parallel with the bank, and often very close together. In front of them, a few buffalo calves were tethered and some cows wandered about. I noticed 2 or 3 horses, each with its body enveloped in a rug, and its front feet shackled with an iron bar. Fali's own horse had been shackled in the same way, and when I asked him the reason, he explained, "It stops people from stealing them. If you fasten a horse with a rope, the thief can cut the rope, jump on its back, and then both disappear. Our horses are thoroughbreds. They are valuable, and we take care of them." "Why are they wrapped up like that? It isn't cold." "To stop the flies biting them." Dogs raced along the bank above and stopped every 10 or 15 yards to bark at us in a sort of gibbering frenzy, their lips drawn back over their teeth. Each group of dogs handed us over at its boundary to a fresh lot. Children watched silently, and women, none of them veiled, looked out from the houses. There seemed to be few men about. We drew into the bank under a large house, and one of Fali's retainers shouted, "Zaire Mahaisin!" An elderly man came out, fastening his headcloth. "Welcome, welcome, Ya Muhaffad! Come in, come in!" Fali refused, although the man pressed us to drink coffee. Fali asked, "Have you sent the men down to the marsh in their canoes?" "Yes, Muhaffad. They are all there and waiting for you at the mouth of the stream." "Are there any pigs in the reeds?" "Yes, but very scattered. The water is too low for them to have collected on the reed islands." "Come on, in you get." And Zaire Mahassin climbed neatly into the canoe and sat on the floorboards. Passengers always sit in the bottom of a canoe, the place of honour being that nearest to the stern against the rear thwart. When the crew paddle, 2 sit in the stern on the raised deck, one in front of the other, the third on the forward thwart, an uncomfortable narrow beam, while the 4th kneels in the bows. I asked Fali, "Are these people Madan?" He exchanged a smile with Zaire Mahassin and said, "No, they are Fala, cultivators. The Madan live in the marshes. You will meet them later when you get to Kabab." We had left the fields of wheat and barley behind us before we came to the village. The channel which we were following had little water in it, and the canoeman kept the tarada moving with difficulty. The earth banks were lower, and by sitting up straight I could see over them. On either side a couple of 100 yards of weed-carpeted mud glistened in the sun, and past them lay the reed beds. A small flock of cattle egrets showed up snow-white against this background. 2 buff-backed herons sat, humped and brooding on the edge of a small ditch, and some pied crows quarrelled noisily round a piece of garbage. Fali remarked, "This is where they plant their rice. They will start clearing the fields soon." Ahead of us I could see a large number of men and canoes. When we were near them, we climbed out and stood precariously on the last crumbling vestiges of the dike. A few old men, better dressed than the others, waded through the mud and water to greet Fali and to kiss his hand. The rest, many of them boys, sat or stood in their canoes a short way off in the deeper water. Some had coarse black or brown cloaks wrapped round their waists, but were otherwise naked. The rest wore the long Arab shirt, tucked high up round their thighs. 2, who were pulling a canoe through shallow water, lifted their shirts up under their armpits, exposing their nakedness with complete unconcern. Most had some sort of rag round their heads, and many wore daggers. Several boys were also armed with clubs, weighted with lumps of bitumen. Seeing me look at his, one of the boys passed it to me with an engaging smile. In general, these people were powerfully built and of moderate height, with light skins darkened by the weather. frank, open